Something changes gradually in a kitchen, and most people don't notice it at first. The surfaces look clean. The refrigerator smells fine. The sponge gets rinsed after every use. But underneath all of that, something quieter is happening. Nutritionists who work closely with older adults have identified 4 specific cleaning habits that are silently introducing harmful bacteria and contaminants into the food seniors eat every single day. These aren't dramatic oversights. They're small, easy-to-miss errors that most households have been repeating for years. In the next few minutes, we'll break each one down into simple, practical steps you can act on right away. If this is the kind of clarity you've been looking for, you'll feel right at home here. This space is designed to make things simpler. Stay connected if you want more like this. Error 1. The cutting board, cross-contamination trap. This tends to happen when a single cutting board is used for everything. Raw chicken one moment, sliced tomatoes the next. It feels efficient. It's a habit most people developed long before food safety research became widely available. But for adults over 63, this particular habit carries a risk that goes well beyond what most people expect. In simple terms, cutting boards, especially wooden or heavily grooved plastic ones, develop microscopic cuts along the surface over time. These tiny channels are invisible to the eye, but function as protected spaces where bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, and Campylobacter can settle and survive long after the board has been rinsed or wiped down. A quick wash with dish soap and warm water removes surface residue, but it rarely penetrates the grooves where the most dangerous bacteria are hiding. What makes this especially important after 63 is the shift in how the immune system functions. The body's ability to identify and neutralize low-level bacterial exposure slows with age. A younger adult might process a small dose of foodborne bacteria without any noticeable symptoms. For an older adult, that same exposure can trigger digestive distress, inflammation, or in more serious cases, a foodborne illness that takes weeks to fully recover from. The immune system isn't broken, it's simply less aggressive, which means the environment around food preparation needs to compensate for that change. What helps is approaching the cutting board as a zoned tool rather than a general surface. Color-coded boards, one for raw meat, one for produce, one for ready-to-eat foods, eliminate the transfer risk entirely. If color-coded boards aren't available, the habit of thoroughly sanitizing with a diluted white vinegar or hydrogen peroxide solution between uses makes a significant difference. Any board with deep knife scars, warping, or a surface that no longer lies flat should be replaced, because no amount of cleaning fully reaches the contaminated grooves inside damaged boards. This is more common than most people realize. Many seniors who experience unexplained digestive discomfort, nausea, or recurring stomach sensitivity never connect it back to the cutting board they've used for the past decade. The board looks clean. It smells clean. But the bacteria living inside the grooves don't announce themselves. They simply continue to transfer silently onto every food surface they touch. A simple way to approach this is to treat the cutting board replacement as a routine health decision, the same way you would replace an old toothbrush. If it's been in use for more than a year and shows visible scoring, it's time to let it go. The cost of a new board is minor compared to the protection it provides for a body that is working harder than it used to just to stay balanced. Error 2. The damp sponge problem. One common sign that something is off in a kitchen is a faint sour or musty smell that seems to come from nowhere specific. Most people assume it's the drain or a piece of forgotten food. But nutritionists and food safety researchers consistently point to one source that gets overlooked almost every time: the kitchen sponge sitting next to the sink. This is often linked to a straightforward but uncomfortable fact. A damp kitchen sponge is one of the most bacteria-dense objects in the average home. Studies examining household bacteria levels have found that kitchen sponges regularly carry E. coli, salmonella, and several strains of mold. Not because people are careless, but because the sponge's structure makes it a near-perfect bacterial environment. It stays moist, it traps food particles, it sits at room temperature, and it's used repeatedly across multiple surfaces without being properly sanitized between uses. For seniors, the issue is not just about what the sponge carries. It's about where those bacteria end up. When a contaminated sponge is used to wipe down a counter, a stovetop, or a dish, it isn't cleaning those surfaces. It's redistributing bacteria across them. Food prepared on a recently wiped counter or a dish dried with a bacteria-laden cloth can carry contamination that was never part of the original ingredients. A useful shift is changing how the sponge is treated rather than just how often it's replaced. Microwaving a thoroughly damp sponge for 2 minutes kills the majority of bacteria living inside it, but only if the sponge is fully wet before it goes in, since a dry sponge can scorch or catch fire. Running it through the dishwasher on a heated dry cycle achieves a similar result. Beyond daily sanitizing, replacing the sponge entirely every 1 to 2 weeks is a standard recommendation from food safety authorities for any household, and more so for seniors who are more vulnerable to the effects of foodborne contamination. Switching to a silicone scrubber is another option that has gained attention for its practical advantages. Unlike traditional sponges, silicone doesn't retain moisture between uses and doesn't have the porous interior structure where bacteria multiply. It can be rinsed clean, dried quickly, and sanitized in the dishwasher. It isn't a perfect solution for every kitchen task, but for daily surface wiping, it removes one of the most consistent contamination risks in the senior kitchen. Many people experience digestive issues without ever connecting the cause to something as routine as the sponge. The connection rarely comes up because the sponge appears to be doing its job. It wipes, it absorbs, it rinses clean. But appearance and function are not the same thing when it comes to bacterial contamination. And for a body over 63, that distinction matters more than most people understand. Error 3. Neglecting the refrigerator, seal and drip zones. It's easy to assume the inside of the refrigerator is safe simply because it's cold. Refrigeration slows bacterial growth. That's accurate. But it doesn't stop it entirely, and it does almost nothing to address the specific zones inside most refrigerators where contamination quietly builds up over weeks and months without being noticed. What's actually happening is a gradual accumulation process. The rubber gasket running along the refrigerator door seal collects moisture, food residue, and condensation every time the door is opened and closed. Over time, that accumulated material becomes a breeding ground for mold and bacteria, including strains that remain active at low temperatures. Every time the refrigerator is opened, air circulates past that seal, and whatever is growing there moves into the interior of the fridge along with it. The drip tray, located beneath most refrigerators, presents a similar problem. Designed to collect condensation from the cooling system, the drip tray in most households is never emptied or cleaned. In a warm kitchen, that stagnant water becomes a source of mold growth and airborne bacteria that circulates near food storage areas, particularly produce stored in lower drawers. A better way to approach this is to include the refrigerator seal and drip tray in a monthly cleaning routine rather than waiting for a visible problem to appear. Wiping down the door seal with a white vinegar solution removes mold at the source before it spreads. White vinegar is particularly effective here because it's non-toxic, leaves no chemical residue near food, and disrupts the moisture environment that mold needs to survive. For the drip tray, removing it, emptying it, and washing it with warm, soapy water once a month is a simple step that most households never take, but one that food safety experts consistently recommend. Proper food storage zones inside the refrigerator also play a role that seniors may not have been taught. Raw meat should always be stored on the lowest shelf to prevent drip contamination onto produce or ready-to-eat foods stored below. Leftovers should be covered and placed in the upper or middle sections where temperature is most consistent. Produce stored in crisper drawers should be checked regularly for soft spots or decay, since one piece of rotting produce accelerates spoilage across everything stored beside it. For some seniors, this explains a lot. Recurring mild digestive issues, unexplained fatigue after meals, or a general sense that food doesn't sit well anymore can sometimes be traced back to a contaminated refrigerator environment rather than any specific ingredient. The refrigerator isn't failing. It's simply not being maintained in a way that accounts for the bacteria that cold temperatures can slow but not eliminate. But this is where things start to shift, because the final error is the one most people carry into the kitchen before they've even begun cooking. Error 4. Reusing grocery bags for fresh produce. Without washing them over time, a pattern develops in most households that seems both practical and environmentally responsible. Reusable. Grocery bags replace single-use plastic. They're brought to the store, filled, carried home, emptied, and folded back up for the next trip. The logic is sound, but the cleaning step, the one that makes reusable bags actually safe, is almost universally skipped. What this can lead to is a hidden contamination cycle that begins before food ever reaches the kitchen counter. Raw meat packaging leaks small amounts of fluid during transport. Soil and pesticide residue from unwashed produce transfers to the interior lining of the bag. Moisture from refrigerated items creates a damp interior environment that persists between shopping trips. Without regular washing, these bags become carriers, moving bacteria from one shopping trip directly into the next, and from the bag onto every surface it contacts at home. A food safety study examining reusable grocery bags found coliform bacteria in the majority of bags tested, with a smaller percentage containing E. coli. For a younger, healthy immune system, this low-level exposure may pass without symptoms. For a senior whose immune defenses have naturally softened with age, repeated low-grade bacterial exposure through contaminated bags can contribute to digestive disruption, inflammation, and a gradual erosion of gut health that shows up in ways that are difficult to trace back to the source. A small habit that supports better outcomes here is treating reusable bags the same way you would treat any food contact surface. Fabric bags should be machine washed in hot water at least once a week, and more frequently during warmer months when bacterial growth accelerates. Insulated bags used to carry refrigerated or frozen items should be wiped down with an antibacterial solution after every use and left open to dry completely before being stored. Keeping separate bags designated for raw meat, fresh produce, and dry goods eliminates cross-contamination during transport entirely, a simple organizational shift that takes almost no additional effort once the habit is established. Many people experience subtle digestive changes without ever connecting it to something as routine as the bag that carried their groceries. It doesn't feel like a contamination event. It feels like aging. It feels like the body becoming more sensitive or less predictable. But when the source is a contaminated surface that contacts food before it's ever prepared, the kitchen hygiene solution is far simpler than any supplement or dietary change. The body isn't working against you, it's reacting to patterns. Each of these 4 errors follows the same underlying logic. A habit that appears harmless on the surface is quietly introducing bacterial exposure into the food a senior eats every day. The immune system after 63 is not broken. It is recalibrated. And that recalibration means the environment around food preparation has to be held to a higher standard than it may have been in earlier decades. These changes are signals, not random events. A cutting board that hasn't been replaced in years, a sponge that smells faintly off, a refrigerator seal that's never been wiped down, a grocery bag that's never been washed. None of these feel urgent in isolation, but together they create a cumulative contamination load that a senior body processes less efficiently than it once did. Once you respond correctly, the body starts adjusting. Digestive comfort improves. Energy after meals stabilizes. The connection between a clean kitchen environment and how the body feels day to day becomes impossible to ignore. It's rarely about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently. Small, deliberate corrections at the source of food preparation protect nutrition in a way that no diet change can compensate for if the kitchen itself remains contaminated. If this was helpful, share it with someone who might need it. A neighbor, a family member, or a friend who has been dealing with unexplained digestive discomfort and doesn't know where to start looking. You don't have to figure this out alone, and neither do the people around you. This channel exists to make these kinds of connections clear, simple, and actionable for anyone over 60 who wants to take quiet but meaningful control of their health. Stay connected for more simple insights like this. New content drops regularly, and what's coming next covers the kind of information that rarely makes it into mainstream health advice, but makes a real difference in daily life. Subscribe now so you don't miss it. And if something in this video shifted the way you think about your kitchen, leave a comment below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear.